Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Scavenger. Welcome to today's video. I am playing Pale Carnations for the first time. I thought I had maybe played this before, but I don't recognize the screen. So I definitely downloaded it and then probably just left it there for a while. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the game. If I had to describe myself in as few words as possible, I'd answer how I think most people would. I'm a good and decent person. On the surface, that claim might well be true. I studied diligently in the pursuit of my dream to become a doctor. I'm willing to rock the boat when human decency requires it, and I make sure to call my mother at least 3 times a week. All in all, not exactly the measure for Humanitarian of the Year, but I do try not to actively put more shit into the world than I take out. That should at least count me as decent. Oh man, you guys did a real number on the bitch, huh? Haven't you ever heard of taking it easy on the newbie? So much for needing to get home. She could barely string 2 words together. Someone roll her into the shower. I bet she could go another round or 2. Why am I watching this filth? I like to consider myself a good and decent person, but the face staring back at me in the reflection of the monitor tells a different story. Shit, who could that be? Hi, I'm across the hall. I think I've got some of your mail by mistake. Oh, thank you very much. Truth is, you simply can't take stock of a man's character who lives in an immutable bubble. I have simply never been given the opportunity to prove my conceited self-image right or wrong. That is, until now, with the arrival of a strange letter. Alright, Pale Carnations, a tale of decadence, depravity, and motherly devotion. Interesting. That last one. Before we begin this twisted tale, let's add a little personal touch to the character whose shoes you're about to fill. First, some background. You're a 21-year-old college student studying physics at the local university with the aspiration of getting into medical school. You dream one day of being a general practitioner with your own private practice. The dream is motivated purely out of your desire for helping people, of course. Of course. You want to make a difference in people's lives, plain and simple. The doctors that cared for your father following his accident were a great comfort to your mother, and you desire to emulate that. However, that goodwill is tempered by your base impulses. Lust will act as a counterbalance to your moral scale. Yes, let's move on. I'm down with that. This is you, not the worst mug in the world to be saddled with. Let's put a name to that face. Please input your character's given name. Left blank, it'll be Edwin. We're going with Edwin, man. I think that's fine. Your first name is Edwin. It was the name of a close friend of your mother growing up. You've never met your namesake, but the tender fondness your mother shows when reminiscing about those days fills you with warmth. Now, what's your family name? Turner, Edwin Turner? I'm down. Great, you shall be known as Edwin Turner for the duration of the story. Alright, Turner is a name passed down to you by your late father. You share it with your mother, who has not since remarried. Last but not least, let's fill some of Edwin's personal history. These decisions will impart a background and traits that will be reflected in a number of ways as you advance through the story. They will alter the context in which some characters view you, open up new dialogue options and actions, and offer you a lens to help understand and navigate Edwin's decisions. Let's begin. Starting with your father's death, you had what some might describe as a difficult childhood. Growing up, you presented with a number of behavior problems, primarily stemming from an abundance of curiosity, an abundance of energy, an abundance of anger. I think anger. Sure. Due to unreasonable circumstances beyond a child's understanding, you are a very angry child. Fortunately, with great patience, your mother taught you how to mitigate, manage, and sometimes even utilize these feelings towards productive ends. Being in control is important to you. You'll start the game with the governor trait. Governor, interesting. Okay. Would you like to continue? Fine. Governor trait's fine. Next question, please. All right, moving on. In middle school, this anger culminated into one big event which branded you for your entire adolescence. I'm gonna see what this one says. Nothing made you angrier than the snobby neighborhood bitches who looked down on your mother. It brought you great pleasure being able to both humiliate them and make some cash on the side. You are remembered for this deed and will start the game with the voyeur history. Would you like to continue? With the explanation behind it, it doesn't seem as bad, so I'm gonna actually go with that one. Yeah, he was just getting back at these bitches. Alright, moving on. By high school, you cleaned up your act. Aside from the friends you made in the physics club, you found a new peer group thanks to your enthusiasm for athletics, budding social grace and charm, willingness to lie and conform to get what you want. I'm gonna say budding social grace and charm. Just look at me. Anyway. You discovered an innate talent at using your words and humor to ingratiate yourself to others to overcome their defenses. As a result, you're quite adept at winning people over with your words. You will start the game with the social butterfly perk. Would you like to continue? Yes, please. Great! We're now ready to begin. So, without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Enjoy. It's Thursday afternoon, I suppose. Before me, a strange letter. I don't know what this says. It says something Carnation. Seemingly addressed to no one in particular, it was written on ornate parchment and was suspiciously devoid of a return address. The quick and dirty of it read, Dear esteemed sir, the Carnation Club would like to extend to you the opportunity to join our humble establishment. You have come to our attention through a like-minded member who believes you share in our exacting taste. Should you wish it, the chance to gratify these tastes is within your reach. Do note, this is not an opportunity we afford to just anyone. You will find enclosed blah blah blah. It continued on like that for some length, full of bewildering language and other nebulous-like promises, before directing me to a phone number. I would have simply tossed it in the trash without a second thought, chalking up to a sales pitch for a shady multi-level marketing scheme, had it not been for another small note neatly enclosed within. Sorry for the cryptic hogwash. My nephew tells me you're looking for a new line of work. Do me the favor of giving an old man a call, and I'll explain to you what this is all about. Chuck. Interesting. Interesting that you got all this like grandiose looking stuff going on, and then just the note saying, hey, bro, it's a job offer. Chuck was Dr. Charles Kohler, or as the Moorhead Mills High School Physics Club alternatively knew him. Dr. Chuck has a job for me? As odd as the letter was, Dr. Chuck was once a real-deal rocket scientist and a personal mentor to me throughout high school. He also just happens to be the uncle of my best friend. Whatever this is about, it would be safe to say it's more legitimate than it appears. Coming from a man of his stature, it might even be a good way to pad my resume for med school. At the very least, it'd be nice if I could quit tutoring those difficult brats. Presently, I work as a part-time math tutor to a handful of spoiled, underachieving monsters. Needless to say, it isn't something I'd be doing if the money wasn't so good. Witnessing the upper class of Moorhead Hills take their social privilege for granted is not my idea of job satisfaction, but it pays extremely well. If I could find a part-time job that could even compare to what I currently pull in, even if it had longer hours, I'd jump ship in an instant. Should I give Dr. Chuck a call before I get my hopes up? Trying my best to keep my expectations in check, I take out my cell phone and begin to scroll through its meager contact list. I should still have his number. Aha! There it is. Eventually, the phone is cut short by a familiar voice on the other end. Turner, is that you? Good to hear from you, lad. How the hell are you? Dr. Chuck's boisterous and genial nature is coming in loud and clear on the other end of the line. Despite being exposed at length throughout my childhood, the abruptness of his booming voice was startling after not hearing it for some time. Be polite. Match his enthusiasm. Hey, Dr. Chuck. I'll be polite. Well, it's going, sir. How are you? Sir, come on, lad. You've eaten Thanksgiving with my family. You know that Chuck is just fine. So how's my alma mater treating you? I bet you're too busy chasing skirts to focus on your studies. Am I right? He hasn't changed a bit, has he? College is good, sir. Thank you again for the recommendation. Of course, lad, no problem. But speaking of letters, I'm assuming it was that letter which prompted this call. Am I right? Yeah, that strange one with the gaudy letterhead. I called you as soon as I read it. Gaudy is a good way of putting it, huh? That'd be old August doing. Fits him to the T. Quite frankly, I don't know what the hell is wrong with a simple phone call, but I suppose it's part of the mystique he seeks to cultivate. So secrecy and exclusivity is paramount to drum up the brand of customer we cater to. Anyway, to get to the point of the letter, to put it simply, I own a significant stake in a local business, alongside two of my oldest friends. It's a lounge of sorts. We're looking for a new set of hands, and as luck would have it, my nephew told me that you are unhappy with teaching math to shitty brats. His words. Anyway, he quite empathetically recommended you for the position. I gave it some thought and realized, while you're not the type of person we typically employ, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Interested in a change of careers? A job at the Carnation Club, you mean? I recalled the name ostentatiously printed in big gold letters. I've never heard of it. That's by design. Our members are, to put it mildly, concerned with the question of privacy. As for specifics, well... Okay, I think he told him, and we don't get to hear about it. How rude. Good, I'll set up the meeting for, say, around noon? That works for me. Excellent, you'll be meeting with August Burns. He's a part owner and the gentleman who runs the day-to-day business. Sorry for being light on the details, but the job itself is something that is best detailed in person. I can assure you, though, it's worth your time. You'll be well compensated, plus there's some unique benefits that'll knock you flat on your ass. I guarantee it. Count on me being there, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Whatever it is. Well, all right, lad, I've got to run. If you take the job, I'm sure we'll be seeing each other very soon. Have a good afternoon, sir. Goodbye. All right, interesting. He wasn't kidding about being light on the details. In fact, I barely learned more than the bizarre letter had already told me, which was precisely jack shit. All I know is that the place is some kind of lounge, but as to what I'd be doing there, Dr. Chuck was oddly evasive. Some form of hospitality or service job would be a safe bet. I guess I'll just have to wait until tomorrow and find out definitively. Oh, crap. Suddenly I remembered a conflicting date I had made. I was supposed to have lunch with Mom tomorrow. I guess I'll have to reschedule. Seems like I bail into plans I make more and more these days. She'll be cool with it, but I still can't help but feel a little guilty when I picture her eating dinner all alone in that house. I tried looking the Carnation Club up on the internet, but failed to find a single mention of it anywhere. It must really be as exclusive as he says. Alright everyone, I think this is a good place to wrap things up. We've got a great introduction to the game and the character that I'm going to be playing as, and we've left off on a little bit of mystery and intrigue for another episode. So if you guys want to see that and you like the gameplay so far, make sure you smack that like button, leave me a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. That's all I got for you. You guys take it easy. Bye-bye.